My advice in today's real estate market, listen, it's going to seem a little bit extreme. It's going to seem out there. Hey, this is Matt Cox. I wanted to do a quick video that that'll still probably be 20 minutes long about the real estate market. But before we get into all that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, share the video with your friends and family. I get a lot of guys that ask me about what's bro, what's gonna happen in the market? Like, what do you think's gonna happen? I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. So what I know is this, is that you cannot sustain the kinds of prices that are currently happening for much longer. It may go 6 months to a year, but ultimately it's the market has to crash. There has to be, well, it doesn't have to crash. There has to be a correction. So a lot of guys are like, they ask me questions in the comment section, or they send me emails and they say, what do you think? When's it going to crash? What do you think? I mean, look, I don't know, but really, honestly, everybody knows there's got to be a correction, but nobody really knows. The economists don't know. People that study this don't know, and they don't know because those same people, you know that they didn't know because those same people didn't know when the 2008 financial crisis was going to happen. That when the housing market collapsed in 2008, they didn't see that coming either. Very few of them did. So what I'm saying is this: how do you invest in real estate? Right now, if you're buying properties and fixing them up and flipping them, I mean, it's risky because although the market's going up, well, first of all, you're probably having to buy those properties for too much money because the market's so high. And unless it continues to climb, you may or may not get your money back. You have to go in with a cash offer. It's not like you can get financing for houses that need massive repairs. And you can get financing on houses that need minimal repairs, but not a really good rehab. Guys are constantly asking me, what would you invest in if you wanted to invest in real estate? Because I get a lot of comments from guys that are telling me they're getting their real estate license, they're getting their mortgage license. What do you do? What do I do? What do you think? I mean, it's like, look, it's a great time right now, but it's risky. I mean, 6 months to a year from now, all the money that the government's pumping into the economy, at some point there has to be a correction for that money. It's just fictitious money. It's a giveaway. They have to reclaim that money. If they don't reclaim that money, then you're going to get, inflation. There's tons of examples in history where the government just started printing money, and it ultimately leads to inflation. Now, maybe that inflation also artificially keeps the housing market high, but the other thing that it's going to do is it just devalues everything. The point of the video is that guys are constantly saying, well, what would you invest in? To me right now, I probably wouldn't be buying and selling properties. If I could obtain financing, I would probably buy houses for rental units. And a lot of guys say, well, that's a horrible idea because when the market crashes, people won't be able to pay their rent and that sort of thing. Well, I mean, yes and no. There was a major shift after 2008. After 2008, during the collapse of the market, over the next 5 years, there was one segment of rental units that ballooned up. And that was efficiencies, one-bedroom apartments, efficiencies, and rooms. Okay? Because what happens is this: if you're struggling, let's give an example of some divorced father. A divorced father is struggling to make his child support payments. All right? What's he going to do? He can't not make his child support payments. Maybe in some states they'll suspend your driver's license. Now, how does he get to work? Or who knows? There's lots of things that can happen. It ruins your credit. It does all kinds of stuff. So you want to make your child support payments, let's say. So he can't not make his child support payments. He can't not make his car payment. He can't not make his insurance payment. He can't not pay for food. He can maybe not buy new clothes and entertainment, but in the end, there's only one other category that he can shrink his budget, and that is housing. Most people can shrink housing. All right? Even if you're a father or mother and you've got 2 kids or something and you're living in a 3-bedroom and things go bad and you just can't pay the bills anymore, you know what you can do? You can go and rent a 1-bedroom and the kids live in a bunk bed and everybody lives in the same room. I mean, these are the kinds of things that happen. So if you take that scenario, which exists right now, right? So I'm not saying what if this happens. This is a scenario that happens right now. People need affordable housing. Rent is shooting through the roof. You'd be shocked what I pay for a 1-bedroom. So that scenario currently exists. That scenario, if the market crashes, will only be more prevalent. Now you're thinking, okay, well, Matt, how do I go buy efficiencies? You're still asking me to buy apartments or apartment complexes or an apartment building in a market that's shooting up through the roof that you're saying may crash, or it will crash. It has to be a correction. All right, here's the thing. So how do you meet that current and future demand? Here's what you can do. You go out and you buy something that is obtainable now that isn't currently a rental unit. And that would be a single-family home. The great thing about single-family homes is it's fairly easy to obtain financing on single-family homes. So if you say, hey, I'm going to go buy this house, I'm going to live in this house, and you move in let's say a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Now I'm going to give you Florida prices. Florida prices, you can get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath concrete block. Now I'm going to say for around $200,000, okay? Under $200,000 to be honest. But if you really, really look, I see them available for sale for around $125,000 to $130,000. You can buy a concrete block or a wood frame home, let's say, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Even if it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, you can go in and you can turn those rooms into rental units. You just rent out the rooms. And I know that seems horrible. People are like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's ridiculous. I don't want to be a slumlord. Well, don't run it like a slumlord then. Make them clean. Keep them clean. Get decent tenants in there. The nice thing is that you can screen the tenants because there's a ton of people looking for rooming houses. There's a ton of people looking or that are interested in renting a room. And nobody wants to do it. The people that do it in really low income areas. And so they end up getting low income renters. I'm suggesting you go to a lower middle class area. You buy a home for $125,000, $135,000. You go in, and if you do the math, it doesn't quite work out very well for a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. You don't make that much money in that scenario. So here's what I'm suggesting. You buy the house, you have 3 bedrooms, you take the living room and dining room and you turn those into bedrooms. You put up the stud walls, drywall, whole thing wouldn't cost more than $1,100 or $1,200. It can be done over the weekend. Now you've got a 5-bedroom, 1 or 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. So you've got a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. You bought it for $135,000. Your mortgage payment's probably, with the interest rates right now, probably going to be around $1,000. If you rent out each room for $150 a week, keep in mind, people will pay $150 a week because you're paying their electric and water. So if you rent that out, let's go ahead and assume you rent the entire house out. Now, if you live in one of the rooms, that's great, but if you're using it as a rental property and you rent out all 5 bedrooms, I'll give you the scenario for all 5 bedrooms being rented out. Now, obviously, you could be buying the house to live in yourself. If you're buying the home to move in for yourself, you buy the house, you're only going to have to put down, like, if you qualify for the mortgage, you're going to have to put down 5%. So let's say you're looking at putting down $6,000 or $7,000. So you put down 5% and you live in one of the rooms, you rent out the other 3 rooms. Well, let's say you're buying it for a rental unit. If you're buying it as a rental unit and you tell the lender, I'm not going to live there, I'm going to rent the place out, then you have to put down 15 to 20%. You know, you can do the math on that. It's hefty. It's over 20, 25 grand that you're going to have to put down to buy this home. Now, obviously, there's owner financing. You could do that. That's very possible. In the current, with the market the way it is, a lot of people aren't desperate to do owner financing because they're able to sell their house so quickly. You know, the inventory is drying up. Regardless, Here's what I'm saying. Let's do the math. If you're renting out each room for $150, so let's take $150 a week. There's 4.3 weeks in a month. A lot of people will tell you there's only 4 weeks in a month, but there's actually 4.3 weeks in a month. So 4.3 weeks in a month times 150 times 5 rooms. That comes to $3,250. Let's round down to $3,200. I'm not great with math. You're bringing in $3,200 in rent. Your mortgage payment is roughly, your mortgage payment, taxes, insurance, let's say it's roughly $1,000 a month. All right? So it really depends on how much you finance. It could be, let's say $1,200, but let's say $1,000. You know what? Let's do both. So it's $1,000 a month. Knock off $1,000 off of the $3,200. You're at $2,200. Let's assume that each one of these guys costs you $100 in electric and water and utilities every single month. Now, that's really not even possible, okay? My one bedroom runs me about $50 in electric, all right? So, and I leave everything on all the time because I'm that guy. So, what I'm suggesting is, let's say $500 for water and electric. Now you're taking $2,200. Now you're down to $1,700. Your profit margin is at $1,700. Let's assume that you actually financed, let's say 95% financing. You moved into one of the rooms. 2 months later, when it got filled up, you moved out and rented that room out, whatever the case may be. So let's say you've got a little bit worse interest rate. Maybe the taxes and insurance are a little bit high. So let's take another $200 off. You're at $1,500. Do you know what the average rental unit makes someone a month? The average single-family home makes between $300 to $400 a month profit. Your rental unit as a single-family home will make you $1,500 a month. Now, here's what I'm suggesting also. The great thing about this scenario is that by renting out, turning a single-family home into let's call them eco units. So into eco units, because we don't want to say a rooming house, we want to say they're eco units. So by creating your eco units, what you end up getting is you get a constant stream of income. Even if somebody moves, as long as you can rent out that room within a week. Keep in mind, if he moves, you keep the deposit. The guy up and moves and doesn't give you, let's say, 30 days notice, you keep the deposit. If you just, let's say on a Tuesday the rent's due and he just up and moves, well, guess what? I get to keep his deposit. Well, his deposit's $150. So I have to rent that room out within 1 week, which is pretty easy to do. If you want to see if this scenario works, like, do people really rent rooms for $150 a week? You know what you do? Go on Craigslist, take some pictures, go on the internet, find some pictures, put them on Craigslist, tell them you've got a room for rent, fully furnished, for $150. I'm telling you right now, I have a buddy that was telling me that, oh, this wouldn't work, that doesn't work. We went and put a fake ad on Craigslist. He got 20 calls within about 2 or 3 hours of people that wanted to rent the room for $150. I'm telling you right now, it's huge right now. What's it going to be like when the market crashes? People are desperate. They'll be desperate to get in. Hell, you could stack them up and you could rent out each room and put them in bunk beds. And a lot of guys are going to tell you, oh, you can't just rent out a room. That's absolutely untrue. If you're in a deed-restricted community, you can't. But if I buy a single-family home in the middle of, in a neighborhood in Tampa or somewhere in Riverview or Tampa or Orlando, as long as it's not in a deed-restricted community, I can rent out the rooms. Now, they're going to tell you, oh, well, you can't just put up a wall in there. Well, I mean, look, you can't do a lot of things. You're supposed to pull a permit every time you change the toilet or you change a sink. How many times do people change out a sink or the faucet and go pull a permit? Okay, look, if you want to, there's always an issue with something. I'm saying this is what I would do. You can get an electrician to come in and put in the electrical if you want, or put no electrical. You're really just putting in a divider with a door. You've got a 5-bedroom eco unit that's bringing in $3,200 a month. That's a hell of a rental unit. On what is traditionally a loser rental unit, the average single family is not a good rental to have. Single family homes typically do not make good rentals, all right? Because every time someone moves out, they move out, If they clean it up, you give them their deposit back. It takes a month or so to move someone else in. Let's say in a month you get somebody who wants to move in. They never want to move in right away. They want to move in, oh, we can move in 2 weeks or next month. You basically lose 2 months rent on a single family. The nice thing about a rooming house or an eco unit is that if someone moves out, you keep their deposit. If they give you their deposit, you can prepare to have someone else move in. The people that need to move in these places need to move in right away. They're desperate because there's so few of these types of clean, decent rental units available. And the other thing is this, there's never any downtime. You never have vacancies. Even if you have a vacancy, how much is it? You missed $150 out of your $3,200 a month profit? Let's say you missed 2 months. Okay, sorry, 2 weeks. Let's say it was vacant for 2 weeks. That's $300 out of your $3,200. Out of your $1,500 to $1,700 a month profit, take $300 out of the 15. You're down. You still made $1,200. There's just no way that all of them are going to be vacant at the same time. Is what I'm saying. This is a great strategy. It's a great strategy now. It's a great strategy if the market collapses. These guys that are calling me, nobody's calling me. They're sending me emails. These guys that are emailing me and leaving messages or comments in the comment section saying, what do you think is going to happen? I can't tell you what's going to happen with the market. I can't tell you, exactly whether you should be, buying and selling and doing this. What I'm saying to me, if I was in a situation where I wasn't on supervised release and was able to actually invest in real estate, I would be buying single-family homes and I would be turning them into eco units. What's another good one? So we got eco units. We could go with mini lofts. That's a nice one. What else? You could get creative with the names. So you buy one, you buy another one. If you had 4 or 5 single-family homes and you're renting out the rooms, listen, they could be extremely profitable very, very quick. And the great thing is that people don't want to do this. There's not a lot of competition because people don't want to deal with that many tenants. But the truth is, I've had lots and lots of rooming houses. I actually was thinking about doing a video on just the rooming houses that I had. And the rooming houses I had were not in good areas. And I'll tell you what, they were extremely entertaining. That's what I can say about rooming houses. What I'm talking about at this price range, I'm saying these are lower middle class homes. So these aren't the kind of homes that were, I owned a bunch of rooming houses. I had a bunch of regular quadplexes, duplexes, but I also owned a bunch of rooming houses. They were if you get your head right, they're extremely entertaining. The ones I'm talking about, I'm saying go lower middle class or even middle class homes. People will pay. People will pay for that. They'll pay to be in a very cheap place to live that's safe and clean. So that's my advice as far as guys are saying, if they want to invest in real estate, what would they do? That's what I do. You can get the loans cheap from the bank. They're single-family homes. The entire system is designed to get people into single-family homes. It's very easy to get into a single-family home, assuming you qualify. Obviously, you can't be paying your bills late and have crappy credit and no rental history and your job sucks and you don't have any money down. Okay, well, you're living in fantasy land. You're not getting anything. Assuming you have it together and can qualify for a single-family home, you could buy these very, very cheaply. Think about it. You get all your investment back within a few months. So that's my advice. It's probably a little out there. And some people are going to say, that's crazy. What's this guy saying? And, look, in many ways, real estate is the wild, wild west. And this is an extreme situation, but I can tell you right now, there's tons of rooming houses everywhere. There's rooming houses in Temple Terrace, in Tampa, in Bradenton, in Brandon, and all throughout Florida. I've never gone anywhere there's not rooming houses. You can go right now online and look. People rent rooms. They're doing this. They're renting rooms. I'm saying you McDonald'ize it and turn it into a business where you go in and you buy the properties that no one wants and you turn them into something that is extremely cash flow positive. So that's my advice. That's what I'm saying. That's what I would do. If you like this video, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave a comment, share the video. And I appreciate it. See you.